in the Shifa hospital compound. We're underneath the ground. We are approximately between the Qatarian building is above us, and this is the way to the street, meaning this is a way that goes outside from the hospital. We are talking about a tunnel which is more than this, only this specific area is more than 300 meters of a tunnel. So this area goes directly outside of the hospital, approximately to one of the areas outside, maybe a mosque, maybe an apartment, and it's blocked. It's blocked and sealed. They knew that we were going to come here more than a month ago, and they sealed it. And now we're going to see the infrastructure of the tunnel. This tunnel is a complex tunnel. It's not the ones that we know. It's more convenient for a long living, like you have toilets and you have rooms that were built in order to contain people. But this room is an operational room that had communication with electricity provided from the sources of the hospital, meaning the hospital is providing electricity. This room was evacuated and all the gear was evacuated. I guess it was evacuated when they knew or understand that we're going to enter into Shifa Hospital. You can see how long it is. The warriors in front of us are going inside the tunnel. You can see a small kitchen. So it will provide them food, water, etc. All these facilities of water and food are coming from the hospital, meaning they're using the hospital infrastructures. They're using the hospital infrastructures in order to provide this terror mechanism to stay alive and survive. I want to show you more rooms. More rooms. This is a room, where you can sleep, eat, make command control. It also has an air conditioning. This air conditioning goes above the hospital. One of the reasons that allows us to understand this complex is that we found the engine of the air conditioner, of course, outside, next to the Qatarian compound, inside the hospital. Electricity, full electricity. The gear that was inside here was evacuated before we entered, but look at the ceiling. This is not just a regular tunnel. This is a high facility compound. Also more toilets here. Of course, they tried to seal it. They tried to seal it also with sand and other components that we will not be able to enter here. We evacuated the sand. We opened up those entrance so we can go in, but they tried to ruin this tunnel in order for us not to be able to enter. You can see the stairs here going down. Electricity from all over the sides, or electricity. All this electricity compound, all this electricity gear, of course, comes out from the hospital. The hospital provides, in that sense, electricity to this terror mechanism of the tunnel. This is a unique signature of the arches. The arches are a unique technique by Hamas, building the tunnels. It's something that was designed in the last 15 years. This unique every area that we see arches are we understand that it assembled, that it has a tunnel next to it. This is how we revealed some of the tunnels, so it's a unique structure of Hamas tunnels in the last 15 years. The warriors, it took time to make sure that this area is not booby-trapped. We were worried that it was booby-trapped. Cleaning this area, opening it so we can go inside, was a huge task for the forces of the special units that were here.
זה לאן לוקח? זה לרחוב? זה לרחוב?
Where the warrior is standing here, it goes directly to the street, meaning it again goes out from the hospital to the north side of the hospital, where we found another tunnel which has an elevator like the Rantisi tunnel, and it goes up and goes out. So it's all a tunnel systems that ends in the hospital. It's a mechanism of a tunnel system that ends in the hospital. Now we're going to turn left and go out again in the hospital just to see the size of the tunnel. This is the blast. This is the blast door, the one that we opened, where we have seen in the movie that we reached to the blast door. We took us time to open it. We were making sure it's not booby-trapped. These blast doors allows them to prevent blasts by our Air Force, meaning it can maintain the preservation of parts of the tunnel to be protected, and also it's part of fighting. So if an enemy reaches to the door, you can fight him through the door. So it's a really sophisticated mechanism in that sense, designed to fight. And all this mechanism above us is a hospital. Above us, patient, wounded, doctors, all being a human shield for this tunnel system here at Shifa Hospital. The electricity you see is the electricity that provide the communication, the command and control, meaning from those tunnels you can command and control all the terror mechanism waging war outside in Gaza. This is why all the battalion's commander, all the senior commander terrorists came here to command their operation, went outside, went back to the hospital to do command and control.
פתח יציאה, אי אפשר לעלות מפה כי ניסקנו את הסולם, אבל אפשר לתת תמונה של הסולם.
This is the way out with the stairs. This way out, when we entered with the bulldozer, all the sand fell down. So it's not now it's not available to go out. But we will show you, because you remember the movie that we showed with the drone, it ends here. Okay. Outside the compound of Shifa Hospital, We just walked 50 meters from the hospital, and this is the entrance from outside the street. I want you to look closely. It's the same mechanism of staircase going down, and this is the roof that enters into the Shifa hospital. When people ask us, why do we need to ruin the buildings next to the area? Why do we work the way we work? It's because Hamas has built a terror infrastructure underneath, underground, underneath the buildings. He uses the way to be close to the hospital, but this kind of tunnels keep on going to different kind of bases, meaning commanders of Hamas go to the hospital, give directions to the forces, go out by these tunnels, and they go out, proceed their terror acts against our soldiers, firing rockets on our civilians, go back and directly to the hospital as a human shield. We're now outside a street which is parallel to the Shifa hospital. And it goes, the tunnel system that we saw underneath the Shifa hospital gets until this house. I want to show you it. We're entering the house. We're entering the house now. We're entering the house. In this house, it's a regular apartment. It's a regular apartment. In this apartment, you have gear and equipment. We're entering the room. We're entering the room. Okay, you can see the board. It's like a classroom inside a house. You have the warriors here. Our warriors here are working on the tunnel shaft, and then you can see the tunnel shaft. It was covered with the floor. We had to remove the floor and understand this tunnel shaft. Now we're going down inside the tunnel shaft. Just imagine how people are building tunnels underneath a home in a room that has a classroom. And here you can see we're entering into the tunnel. And the tunnel goes and goes. And then you can see the structure that we already seen of the staircase. A spiral staircase going down into the tunnel that we saw outside the Shifa hospital. And this direction also brings us to areas which is different from the Shifa hospital, meaning one direction goes to the Shifa hospital, other directions go to different places, different location where the terrorists can move using the safe haven, the human shield of the hospital, the human shield of those regular houses, providing them shelter, held by civilians, and they choose it in the most barbaric and cynic way. In a room, they use it in a room that should have provided teaching for children. This is their choice. This is what we're fighting. You see, those are classes. It's room that has a class. These are classes. People are being educated here, and the tunnel goes outside from a house who meant to give teaching for children. So they deliberately build the tunnels in the places they know They know it will be the most covered and, I'm sorry to say, cynical way, unhuman, using children being learning inside a house.